So the real question is how do everybody know that the stories are true? Okay. And that could be a really, really long answer as well. And I think it's something that I would love to actually even study for you and for us as a group. I think all of us would probably like to do that. How do you answer that question quickly? How do you know the stories of the Bible are true, or that it was written? I don't think that you can answer that quickly. Right.
There's a point where you have to look at what type of story is this. There are stories in the Bible that are written as illustrations. When Jesus tells a parable about a man scattering seed and it falls on 4 different types of soil, that doesn't mean that there actually has to be a farmer out scattering seed on those 4 types of soil for that to contain truth. There's a difference between stories that are told to express truth, just like you could read a fictional novel about characters who don't actually exist and say there's something true in this, just like I can read like The Lord of the Rings and say, okay, well, there's not actually hobbits in some place called Middle Earth somewhere, but this tells me something true about the way that people are and the way that life is. In the same way, there are different types, there are different genres of literature. You don't read a newspaper and a novel and one of your textbooks in school in the same way. In the same way, there are different types of literature in Scripture, so we have to be careful and thoughtful about how we read. But ultimately, we need to realize that the Bible is something that's 66 books composed by 40 or more authors over thousands of years, and some of it written down when it was originally written, and much of it from oral tradition that was then later on written down by generations that had heard these stories over and over and over again. There's a lot going on there. And ultimately, we don't have time to talk about it, but Christians through the centuries and for various reasons in various ways and places have said, we find this to be true, both from our own experience, both from our faith, and both from just the simple fact that as we read the Scripture, we see this is what is true in the world.